Some time ago, while I was in prayer, I saw an attack on motherhood and an attack on women in America. I saw this attack coming against women and current mothers, causing them to abandon their position as motherhood. Get that shit, kid, but that shit. I saw young girls around ages 18, 19 years old intentionally getting pregnant to have babies earlier just to give them away so that they could say, here, I've made my contribution to society. I provided a baby so humanity could live on. Take the baby, don't bother me. And they would just skedaddle so they could go live the rest of their lives for themselves, thinking that they're living conscious free and not worried about it. I saw I saw women who were already married with children from the ages of like 35 to 45 years old abandoning their families and looking at their 8-year-old son. I see one family specifically who has a daughter around like 12 years old and a son around 8 years old. And I see the mother looking at her son saying stuff like, well, you're just going to grow up to be a man anyway, and men are evil. So I might as well leave you now. And completely leaving and abandoning and walking away from their family and their husband. And I see this strange behavior. I keep hearing strange behavior. Families are going to say, like, man, her behavior just got really strange. And over time, I see these women, these mothers, these wives, just little by little disassociating themselves and distancing themselves and going out with friends unannounced, just disappearing and leaving and coming back after a day or two after a trip with no explanation and just doing little strange things that they normally wouldn't do. And I hear the family talking, saying, yeah, mom's been acting real strange. And I hear husbands talking to people or talking to themselves saying, yo, what's with this strange behavior with my wife? And when they're finally confronted, when the family talks to the mother, is when she just cuts it off completely and abandons and leaves and dips the family, leaves a note. She looks at the daughter and says, you'll understand one day, but in the meantime, watch out for them, those men. Watch out for them. You'll understand one day. And leaves and looks at the son and is like, I just see this 8-year-old boy, and it's a Caucasian family, a white family that I see, and this 8-year-old boy is looking up at his mom, and she's looking at him like, you're just gonna grow up to be a man one day, just like the rest of them. Don't worry about it. And she's just cold and leaves. I see these young girls, something about racial lines get crossed. Like I see people collaborating and breaking racial barriers. I see the young 18, 19-year-old girls are black girls, and the older women between their 30s and 40s are white women. And I see them like collaborating, and I see these older women, their 35 to 45 range, mentoring the younger girls, saying, this is what it's like in marriage. This is what you should do now so you can avoid this and that and XYZ, and completely misleading one another, misguiding one another. I see it. And then I see it being celebrated as like, look at how racial barriers are being crossed, and these women of different races and cultures are joining together to help one another and take care of one another. I see the story being flipped like that, which is sick. And it's all stemming from unhealed child wounds, unhealed trauma wounds. I see all the trauma wounds, the trauma bonding, unhealed trauma manifesting, and the enemy being able to just really take hold of that and use these women to walk away from their position of motherhood, all because of unhealed trauma that's inside of them. And the idea is to get these women to abandon their post as mothers, because there's so much power and authority in the position of praying mothers. And I see this excuse as well, like, men have abandoned their position as fathers for decades, for generations. Why can't we live free? Why can't we and I see them looking to abandon their post as mothers, and the enemy wants that because the power of a praying mother, praying grandmothers, a mother's covering has kept children from the midst of the enemy for generations, has kept people for generations. And I see the enemy wants to dismantle that. And this is like a final blow to dismantling the family structure. They did it with fatherhood and did it with men for generations. And now, again, that shit kept up with that shit. And it's, thank you, Lord. And now it's the mother's turn, the wives, to take that final blow. And I see them donating babies, giving babies away to healthcare systems. And I see this like, I see the healthcare system is like a monster, and it's devouring babies, it's devouring children. It's like eating them. I see it as a literal monster. It's like this building that has like a monster's mouth. And as women walk in there, they're going in there to in droves. I see women of like from that range, 18 to like 45 range, walking in there in droves, lines down the street to go give up their children or sign some type of contract that says they're going to give up their baby when they're pregnant. I see it happening in mass amounts, mass quantities. Wow. People, we got to pray. We have to pray for real, for real. We have to pray, pray. This is going to be a daily prayer list, daily prayer point. I see this happening in mass quantity. Women coming to deliver their babies to this monster, and they're passing it off as like the new wave is women's health care, new revolution in women's health care. Deliver your baby, and we take care of them. We provide resources, and they give you money. I'm seeing them paying women out what seems like to be a large amount to them, but is really like peanuts. Really selling themselves out for a decent dollar amount, 10,000, 100,000, like it's nothing. Yeah, so that's the attack on motherhood that I've been seeing. I feel like it's time to release that. So all of y'all stay prayerful, stay watchful. God bless.